Hello guys! Today is January 26th. Let's start our update straight away on the quarantine days. Speaking of quarantine days, diba, we have Sir Joey Concepcion, presidential advisor, who is always pushing for loosening up, relaxing the protocols, especially for us guys, air travel. Diba, the other day, he suggested that we should implement no quarantine, di ba? We should move away from hotel quarantine and start adapting home quarantine. The Philippines needs to adapt, just like other countries are doing. He said that it's not immediate, tanggalin na agad-agad yung hotel quarantine as much as we want to, as much as he wants to. We know that DOH and IATF will not do it. They will not say, oh, starting February 1, no more hotel quarantine. It would have been the best thing, but we know it's realistic expectation that hindi talaga yan nila gagawin. So what we do is negotiate, just like what Sir Joey Concepcion and the private sectors and the airlines are doing. And what we are pushing right now, we are one with Sir Joey Concepcion, who is proposing to the IATF, bring down the quarantine days to just 3 days. Diba right now, it's 5th day swabbing, nagiging 6 days if from yellow list. And then there's red list pa na medyo mahaba din, umaabot ng 8 days. What Sir Joey Concepcion is pushing, bring down the quarantine days to just 3 days. 3 days, that should be enough. For the DOH and IATF, diba? It's just fair enough. We have a negative test result and then you test us again. Oh my goodness. And then 3 days quarantine IATF is what we're asking. Although yung gusto talaga namin is negative test result, no more hotel quarantine, but we know you won't do that. So 3 days quarantine. According to Sir Joey Concepcion, this was approved before. The private sector and him pushed for it, fought for it, and it was approved before. And he is again proposing it and pushing it for the sake of the tourism and the aviation sectors. And he says that if the cases continues to drop, the economy should be reopened.
Well, nakikita natin ang dahan-dahan ng pagbaba ng mga kaso dito ng Omicron. At ang tingin ko by February, baka sa mid-February, ay talagang mas mababa na itong kaso ng Omicron. At ang tingin ko ay pwede na siguro ibaba sa alert level 2. Pero ang tingin ko dito, mas importante na ibalik natin yung dating quarantine na dati. Returning residents, mga those traveling from other countries, na yung quarantine time nila dito at ay 3 days lang, no? Na-approve na yan bago nangyari yung Omicron. Pinalik lang sa 5 days for fully vaccinated. So isang importante yan kasi yung tourism sector natin, malaking tama dito. Over the past 2 years, halos nakasirado yung tourism sector natin, no?
Yes. Sa next protocol, IATF, 3 days quarantine, please. I know, guys, it's not what we want. It's not what we want. But we have to negotiate with the IATF. So, I encourage you guys, go to Sir DFA Teddy Boy Luxin. Go to his Twitter and talk to him. He is very active there. He is an IATF member. He reads tweets, guys, from us regular people. Go to his Twitter and let's speak to him and encourage him to speak up on the IATF meeting, which will be tomorrow na. Yeah, we have to reach out to these people for us to be heard. And even you can speak to the mga OFWs dyan, kay Sir Hans Kakdak sa Twitter, very active din yun. Kausapin natin, makiusap tayo, let's negotiate na at least man lang 3 days quarantine. And sana tanggalin na yung red list, yung yellow list at red list, just combine it. At yung green list na medyo ridiculous yung list. Anyways, I will not comment on green list. At least sila no quarantine. Pero tayo, at least man lang sana po 3 days na. Because the world is moving forward. UK, sana all. Starting Monday, they will scrap the compulsory COVID test for fully vaccinated arrivals and quarantine for the unvaccinated. Sana all. Diba? They are entering a new phase in their pandemic strategy. I mean, their vaccination rates is very high, but what we are catching up, guys. The Philippines is catching up. Fully vaccinated is 57.5 million in the country. The government's goal is at least before the election that we will be able to vaccinate na majority or all of the adult population. At least 90 million Filipinos by the end of the second quarter of this year. Yeah, and even though the BA2, the stealth Omicron subvariant, is already predominantly present here in the Philippines, it's showing to be mild, just like the first subvariants and the original variant. Let's reach out po sa mga IATF members, or if you know of senators po, let's go and talk to them, message them. That's what I do as well, guys. Before this Omicron, talagang mababa naman talaga yung positivity rate for us, international arrivals, and we have been doing our part in following the protocols. We are not the threat. You know that the numbers are coming from the local community, not us. So it's time. I think it's time to, it's long overdue. No, we are not the antagonist here. We are fully vaccinated with booster shots with negative test results. Give us this 3 days quarantine at least for February. On the other hand, guys, let's talk about flights. Philippine Airlines will boost Middle East network. So Middle East, that's where a lot of OFWs are working. And Philippine Airlines po, magdadagdag po sila ng flight sa Middle East. And this is a new route. This is Israel to Philippines, Philippines to Israel. The airline plans to open non-stop service between Manila, Ninoy Airport, and to Tel Aviv po, a city in Israel, from April 6. So that's, yeah, February, March, 2 months from now. That is good. Their schedules filed with the authorities show the route will be served twice a week using Airbus A350. Now, some people are asking me, Jennifer, I want to land direct in Cebu. Oh, I want to quarantine in Davao. Is that possible? Yes, it's possible, guys. Pwede kang mag-quarantine sa Clark or sa Cebu or sa Bohol or sa Davao. But it all depends sa flight mo. Remember the golden rule, you will quarantine in your first port of entry. But if you say, I want to quarantine in Davao, is that possible? Yes. So first, let's start with Cebu, guys. If you want to land direct in Cebu po, yes, there are airlines flying direct in Cebu, in which hindi ka nadadaan ng Maynila. So for example, Cathay Pacific, pero right now, I wouldn't suggest booking with Cathay Pacific. It's just that Hong Kong po, they have this zero COVID strategy. And that is why whenever there is a surge all around the world, they tend to impose restrictions, cancel flights. So yeah, when I went home, guys, I also had the option to book with Cathay, pero I did not because yun nga, Hong Kong, yeah, nagkakaroon sila ng bans. Anyways, other airlines that fly to Cebu, guys, if you want to land in Cebu po, direct, Qatar, there's Emirates from Dubai, there's also Scoot. Ito yung airline ko, very smooth, budget airline. Did not cancel my flight despite of everything that happened in Cebu back then. And then there's Jeju Air and Jin Air, very limited lang, pero this is from Korea. And then there's Philippine Airlines. They have Los Angeles and San Francisco. So yeah, just go to the website of the airline, guys. And if you're asking po, Jennifer, is it best to book direct with the airline or with a travel agency or third-party sites? As many travelers, I'm one with them, guys, and I would say it is best to book direct with the airline. Yes, direct with the airline. Ikaw yung may direct contact sa airline po. But if you have a reliable travel agency that you know of, no problem. Okay lang naman. Pero as for me then, mas best pa rin mag-direct sa airline. Especially ngayon na medyo fluid yung situation. There are a lot of flight changes. You really want to have a direct contact with the airlines. Anyways, if you want naman to land in Clark, yes, Clark is also open. You can also quarantine in Clark. Just make sure that your arrival is direct. You will not, hindi ka nadadaan ng Maynila or other airports in the Philippines. So there's Qatar Airways, there's Emirates from Dubai, and then there's Jeju Air din, Incheon to Clark. And then there's Jetstar, Singapore, Clark to Singapore. And then there's Scoot also, Singapore din galing. While if you want to land in Subic or Bohol or Lawag, from what I know po, Philippine Airlines are doing only special flights dyan. Hindi talaga siya regular schedules. While if you want to land direct in Davao, sa mga taga Davao dira, gusto mo mag-quarantine dire direct sa Davao, yes, possible. Make sure that your flight hindi na dadaan ng Maynila or Cebu, dapat direct sa Davao. So for example, kunwari ako, gusto ko, galing ako ng Sydney to Singapore, Singapore to Davao. Okay? Di na dadaan ng Maynila. So, check niyo po, Singapore Airlines or Scoot Airlines. Yan, they fly to Davao. And also, Philippine Airlines, may mga flights din sila sa Davao. They just don't post it po. It's not a regular schedule kasi. Well, if you're worried whether the protocol is the same in other airports, yes, it's the same. The same lang po ang protocols kahit saang airport ka sa Philippines magland. This is all for today, guys. Medyo mahaba ang update natin today. Stay safe po kayo and God bless you.